Det var ingen som brukte så høye tall som deg den gangen?
Jo, det var det. Jeg fikk det, lagde ikke det de selv. Jeg fikk det fra organisasjoner der. MSF gikk alltid lengre enn oss i å beskrive. Og det er jo de som er sannhetsvitner liksom nummer 1 i å beskrive krisen i Niger.
3,5 millioner, altså en tredel av befolkningen truet av sultkatastrofe. Det er et høyt tall.
Ja, det må jeg si, men altså, jeg har ikke sagt det tallet.
Så 3,5 millioner tallet, det har aldri kommet fra Leger uten grenser?
Ikke fra meg i hvert fall. Så vi hadde ingenting med det tallet å gjøre.
The numbers of affected people, the first thing journalists want to know is like, well, how many people are affected? And the answer is like, the real answer is, I don't know. But you come up with it, someone looks at a map and say, oh, you know, there's probably 10,000 people living in this region. Let's just say 8,000 of them are affected by the famine. So you get like 8,000 affected people. And then the next person rounds it up to 10, you know, because 8 doesn't sound so good. It's almost 10,000. The next thing that happens is there's a press conference at the UN. And the UN is, of course, yes, we know about that. You know, so how many people are affected by it? And, well, you know, there's probably 50,000 people living in that area. And next thing you know, it starts to get blown out of control. Everybody wanted the numbers to be as high as possible. The journalists wanted the numbers to be as high as possible. The relief groups wanted the numbers to be as high as possible because that means they can rescue more people. Everybody had a vested interest in making those numbers as high as possible.
Many of us looked at it and said, but it's not a famine. It's not what we've seen before. In fact, some people in the government said expressly, we know famine very well. This is not it.
Gary Eilertz knows the situation in Niger better than most. He supervised the American monitoring of food and living conditions in the country in 2005 through the world's largest aid group, USAID. They claim that there was enough food in the country.
I would say that there were children dying from malnutrition, from complications of malnutrition. But the problem was that they were ending up in those centers for causes that were not primarily a shortfall of food. It was that they got diarrhea from bad water, it's that they had malaria, it's that they had a number of other diseases which impeded their body's ability to use the food that they had, and they ended up malnourished.
In other words, the children at the medical centers were treated for diseases.
It's not really a famine issue.
Avant de parler de famine, là maintenant, il faudra parler de malaria. Parce qu'un enfant qui est malade avec la malaria, il ne mange plus, il maigrit. Donc il y a tout un processus en fait qui fait que c'est difficile. Et souvent, en fait, la malaria est mortelle pour les enfants qui perdent beaucoup trop de poids à ce moment-là.
According to Doctors Without Borders, it's difficult to know whether the children's diseases are caused by malnourishment or if they are undernourished because of disease. 90% of the children at the medical centers were treated for malaria.
De som må ha behandling for alvorlig malaria, de ligger inne på klinikken. Og det er de ungene som vi ser på bilder og sånn, som kommer fram på TV-skjermen for eksempel.
Så de barna har malaria?
De har den alvorligste formen av malaria.
FNs nødhjelpskoordinator Jan Egeland sier hjelpa til det sultramma landet må komme nå, og trygler verden om å bidra med det som i den store sammenhengen er småpenger.
Even though there was plenty of food in Niger, the response from Norway and the world to the pictures of what in reality were children sick from malaria was to send tons and tons of free food.
Hvordan kan vanlige folk nå best hjelpe?
Vanlige folk kan best hjelpe nå ved å gi penger, og så skal vi greie å omsette de pengene i rask, god humanitær hjelp i Niger. Vanlige folk kan best hjelpe nå ved å gi penger.
Dette er luftspeilinger av kriser som de samle inn penger til.
Og de vet selv at på det tidspunktet når de samler inn pengene for å hjelpe, så vil ikke den hjelpen komme før det finnes massevis å spise allerede over hele landet.
Og det magiske ordet her er penger. For det kan de gjøre hva de vil med.
I løpet av 10 dager i juli fikk vi mer penger enn vi hadde fått de 10 månedene før til vårt nødhjelpsarbeid.
If you're an aid organization, all you need is somebody to feel really horrible and helpless for about the 5 minutes it takes to pick up the phone and read a credit card number. And then they feel better about themselves. And it's like, we're giving you the problem, and now we're giving you the solution.
Ifølge FNs matvareprogram trenger befolkningen i landet 23 000 tonn mat.
When the first rain comes, usually in June, the farmers have to be ready. The seeds must be sown immediately after the rain in order to secure a crop.
Si dans la nuit il y a eu une pluie, les gens ne dorment pas cette nuit. Ils se préparent au premier rayon du soleil, ils filent dans les champs pour semer.
In 2005, the free food from the West came at the same time as the rain. For many, this was too tempting. They left their fields in order to get free food instead. Maurice saw several examples of this and took pictures.
J'ai vu ce gars couché avec des sacs qu'il a eu des aides. Le propriétaire du champ à côté est là en train de semer.
While the other farmers in the neighborhood were working in the field, this farmer was relaxing. He had free food from Norway.
Nobody's going to buy food from a local merchant if there's somebody handing it out free on the back of a truck.
The crops were good in Niger in 2005, and the harvest came early. But tons of free food kept pouring into the country. Prices fell, farmers lost profits, and the local food exchange was affected.
It's very important that not only saving people's lives is a priority, but also preserving their livelihoods, supporting the ways in which they have survived for generations and will continue to do so in the future.
The BBC's pictures, broadcast by TV2 and TV stations all over the world, say the famine in Niger forces people to eat the leaves of trees.
Out in the deserts, people are eating leaves from brittle trees to survive. The land here has yielded virtually nothing.
Sen kallar hon det för brittle tree. Varför lägger du in de här adjektiven när du hela tiden de är demeaning? Och blad är en del av nigersk matkultur.
Som innehåller protein och järn speciellt, som är två ting som underernærte mennesker ofte mangler i dette landet.
De kommer igen fram till denne native, alltså matrasismen som de har, alltså att all native food är dålig. Och det hör vi gang på gang i disse reportagerna.
Rancin abinci ya samu, kamar in babu abinci a nan wajen mutane ya suke, me kuke ci?
Me muke ci? Ka me muke ci sai itatuwa.
Itatuwa? Me da me kamar misali?
Jiga.
Jiga? Gaskiya ne, kuma da me?
Yanzu da itacen mu na daji sai jiga muke ci, mun ba mu da itin da zan mu ci sai zogale shi ba zogale babu shi babba wanda zai ci da rani. Da jiga da dilo wannan da hanzal da kake.
Da su magare.
A kwarai kwa duk muna ba diyan mu suna ci suna warware. An kadar ko ba ba da ai. Kuma ba dole ba inda wata musa ka sai da ka sai abincin ka ci. Ka da an ko ba wani kai tafasa ka san tafasa?
Na san tafasa.